I call to order the February 8th, 2022 annual shareholders meeting. I just want to start by first of all thanking Marjorie Fields and Mike Reynolds for signing people in out there to say thanks for your help with that. One other thing, if there are any eligible voters present who have not yet electronically voted or turned in your paper ballot, please raise your hand and the Sergeant-at-Arms will take your ballot for you. Do this now as the polls will close in just a few minutes. Now, because we have exceeded the required quorum of 376 shareholders, we can proceed with our agenda. So you know this is a shareholder meeting, and as such, I will act only as the moderator, and the board of directors are up here as a resource to respond to any questions or issues. All motions will need to come from the floor, and I will look for volunteers as we proceed. Please state your name and your unit number if you make a motion or a second. Now let us proceed with the agenda. Item number 2 is Pledge of Allegiance, will be led by shareholder Tom Shifkins.
I'd like to ask all military veterans of the join together in a hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Now we'll have a moment for reflections from Loretta and Sulaco.
Thank you. Thank you to my husband, my biggest fan. Let's see. I can't read it.
Like my glasses?
Yeah. The last 2 years brought many changes to the residents of Fairway Village. From the COVID outbreak to the completion of the new clubhouse. If we take a moment to reflect on those changes, we can see how they will allow us to move forward in life and experience new and exciting things. Through COVID, our daily lives became a routine of wearing a mask, to washing our hands more frequently, and to judging how far 6 feet apart really is. And while we may have lost family, friends, or neighbors to COVID, we have learned 2 things: the importance of gratitude and the art of patience. Throughout Fairway Village, there has been some temporary changes. The location of the golf starter building at the 5th hole, conducting meetings in the shuffleboard courts, and hopefully the wearing of masks in the office. There has also been a few steadfast changes as well. For example, our cable internet provider and the garbage and curbside recycling pickup. However, the most significant change is the clubhouse. Many years ago, a group of people came together to begin the process of sharing a common vision. With the support of the shareholders, our beautiful clubhouse is the result of that vision. This clubhouse is the recreational heart of the community. It's a place for residents to socialize, play games, have parties, conduct meetings, exercise, relax by the pool with a good book, or just sit on the deck and enjoy the tranquil view of Half Moon Lake. With the board of directors and our many volunteers, we draw upon their leadership and vision for the future of Fairway Village. While change is never easy, without change, it's difficult to move forward. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards.
Thank you. We had a lot more people applauding, but Larry was still the loudest. Item 4, appointment of inspectors of election. Vice President Marsh, will you please read the list of the names of the shareholders who are volunteering to serve in this role?
Yes, they are Christine Oak, Carol Miller, Eric Miller, Joan Dunn, Sherry Moore, Lorraine Griffith, Carol Kriebel, Will Kriebel, Grant Hopcroft, Lily Hopcroft, John Fisher, Ronnie Patterson, Cheryl Dorfman, Chris Wechter, Mary Lou Rector, Ron Wallace, Jan Wallace, who's the chair, Judy Anderson, Ann Tabor, Steve Tabor, Carla Wilson, Madeline McMahon, Larry Ensolaco, Loretta Ensolaco, Randy Schroeder, and Cecilia Schroeder.
Thank you. May I have a motion to accept the election committee as presented by Vice President Marsh? Yes. Thank you. Do we have a second? Somebody? And name and lot number? Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The motion passes. And a special thanks to Jan Wallace. I know she did a tremendous amount of work on this and really brought this whole thing together. Thank you, Jan. Item 5 on the agenda, casting of ballots. The voting closes with the opening of the first ballot by Election Committee Chair Jan Wallace, and Jan is going to open that first one now. All right, thank you, Jan. That begins the tallying process now. Certifying of the quorum. Dennis Reinhardt, do you have an exact count now for the quorum?
Yes, Mr. President, our exact quorum count is 430, which is 57.3%. You have a quorum.
Item 7, proof of notice of meeting, Director Killam.
Yes, Mr. President. Both first and second notifications of the shareholders meeting were delivered and are posted according to the Florida statutes and FVRA governing documents. Affidavit of mailing has been properly recorded.
Thank you. Item 8, approval of minutes, Director Killam.
I will read this and somebody can move it, okay?
Yep.
I would like to have a motion to waive the reading and approve the minutes of the February 9th, 2021 of the shareholders annual meeting last year. A mover,
Larry Ensolaco. And a second. And name and
601.
601, Nicholson.
601. Thank you.
Okay,
And also,
Yep.
sorry, another motion to approve and waive 2 other meetings that we held last year.
So, and the first motion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. That carries. You can do both of these at once now.
I'll do these together. Thank you. If there's a motion to waive the reading and approve the 2 special shareholders meetings, one was June the 9th, 2021 at 7 p.m. and the second one was July the 13th, 2021 at 6 p.m.
Do we have a motion? Barb? No, who's that? Howie? And a second? Who is it? Is that Dick Bag back there? Yes? 726. We have a motion and a second. All of those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Item 8, the Treasurer's Report. Treasurer Dave Raymer.
Well, I'm sorry to say that our accountant delivered the month end of January as of 4 o'clock this afternoon, which made it impossible to come up with a real treasurer's report for the month of January. I'm sure your next treasurer will enjoy doing it next February. However, they did ask me to reinvent the wheel and run the 2020 reserve allocation plan in front of you again. There were a lot of people that said they weren't here and didn't see it and didn't go on the website to look it up. So if you'll bear with me, and if we're up on screen, I'll run through it again for you. The RAP process summary. Each July, the reserve study is compiled by Association Reserves, Inc. In December, the president, the treasurer, the manager, the assistant manager, maintenance provide a site survey to determine if components are slated by the association are needed, additional components to be added, prior years and carryover, etc. In January, the treasurer summarizes and presents to the BOD for review and approval. We've done that this year, but we're going to just review it right now. The starting point of the RAP process, and it does take just about 6 months to complete it. Starting point was July 12, 21, when we got the reserve study, and Dennis and I went through and looked at it in depth, using pages 7 to 9, which are major components with a useful life versus remaining life, and pages 27, 28, components up for replacement in 2022. A spreadsheet was developed. The 2021 RAP was reviewed for carryover items, late spends, etc., and added to the spreadsheet. The resulting data was reviewed, updated after our own site survey was completed. The result is the following 2022 reserve for spending of $774,910. And I'm not sure how well you see that on the screen, but I know it's much better than it was on the TV in the old building. But it takes in consideration all the things that we have to change. If you look at it in its entirety, the clubhouse is still on there because after we closed our bank loan at $3.25 million, we still had $147,000 left in reserve to carry over the things that we still are in process of correcting and fixing. Like I said, this is available on the website under Treasurer's Report and RAP if you want to go on and get your own copy. Hopefully this is much clearer on the big screen. This is our clubhouse expenditures as of 106/2/22. Total approved was 5.685. Total spent was 5.249. So therefore, there was a reduction of close to $400,000 in our budget. As you are well aware of, we had financing of $4 million from Truist Bank, and we had $2 million in reserves to spend. We reduced that loan by $750,000. I just got an indication of how much that saved us because our bill from Truist came through for this month showing a principal payment of $26,000, and I thought, that's based on $4 million. Because we closed it off too late in the year to start our new loan on January 1st at 3.25, they started it at $4 million. So we did 2 months of payment this month, which makes a big difference. But if you take it over the next few years, that's a large amount of money. Again, there's a change order tracking that we do on everything that is outside the contract and added to WJCs or added to other contractors coming in fixed. And I know you can't read them, but I'm sure that most people would want to see what 59B was. It was high toilets for the cost of $5,925. The high toilets are on the way. So that's our last change order at this time. Thank you very much for putting up with me in my financial. I'm sure the next guy will be much more eloquent than I ever could be. So thank you.
Item 10 is committee reports. I don't believe we have any committee reports at this time, but if any of the committee chairmen would like to speak up at this time, now would be the time to just raise your hand or stand up. I didn't think so. We won't have any committee reports today. At this point, we're going to have a good half an hour, maybe more, before the votes are all tallied. So we're going to move some things up in the agenda. At this point, I believe Vice President Marsh has something that would have coincided with the announcement of the new directors. So I'd like to proceed with that now. Roxy?
Yes, I have to stand up to do this because it's important. And because of COVID last year, we didn't get to really honor the people that had left the board. And Gary Haig, would you come forward, please? Things got a little weird during COVID, as you all know, and we have a plaque here for Gary Haig, said, presented to Gary Haig in grateful appreciation for your outstanding service and leadership on the FARA Board of Directors for the years 2017 to 2021. Thank you. There's a stand for it. We have another one. We had a director who was on the board for a couple of years, and then he decided to move away. But we still have him because we hired him back as assistant manager. Dennis, would you come forward, please? So Dennis still deserves the plaque. So again, in grateful appreciation for your outstanding service with FBRA, your shareholders are presenting this to you. And here's the stand for you. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have two people who are leaving the board today. And Daryl Burns, would you call up by me, please? Thank you. Again, this is being presented to Daryl in grateful appreciation of your outstanding service and leadership on the FAR Board of Directors from 2018 to 2022. This man did a wonderful service of interviewing or orientating many new people in the park. So thanks again. And then last but not least, we have John Williams, who is our president, and he has been on the board since 2015 and is leaving in 2022. John, you will be dearly missed. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Vice President Marsh.
The fun things.
And we still have plenty of time, so what we're going to do is move things along and move to the shareholder discussion portion. And we ask that any shareholders can come up and discuss whatever pertains to Fairway Village. And we ask that they state their name and lot number. And because we think we'll have quite a bit here, I'm trying to limit it to 3 minutes. So anybody that would like to speak about any of the issues going on in the park, or just get some clarification on things you might not understand, whatever, just please step up, make sure the mic is on.
John, can I make a statement here before we get started?
Just go right ahead.
I would like to thank everybody that gave me the opportunity to be up here and serve you residents. It has been my pleasure and honor to do so, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity that you have given me for the past 4 years. Thank you very much.
Then I'm not sure the mic is on you. There's a button there you need to push.
Hello? Hello? I'm on? Okay. Hi, it's Don Nicholson, 601. This is regarding the golf, night golf, which is going to be taking place on Sunday, February 27th, Sunday, March 6th, and an alternate night if there's a rain, March 12th. We're going to have 90 people, and it's going to be a scramble. It's not going to be like the past. We're not going to pick teams. It's going to be just like a regular scramble. Hats, names in the hat, and take it from there. It's going to be $10 a person. Non-members of the golf course would be $4, and we will provide the golf balls and the glow sticks, and the course is $10 per person. And it's going to be a one-night ticket sale, which is February 17th. It's going to be from 3 to 4:30. That is the night of the lasagna dinner. So, and if we don't sell the 90 tickets the first night, we're going to ask people as they buy their tickets if they would like to go for the second time, if there's any openings. So we make the whole 90. That's it.
Thanks, Donnie. And as nobody's stepping up to the mic right now, I would like to say something about my term on the board, and especially the last year as president. You folks see me a lot and see some of the shortcomings, but there's a lot that we accomplish strictly because of the board of directors. Now what we have here is a lot of volunteers. We have wonderful people out there in our office staff, in our greenskeepers, and our maintenance guys. They all make my job a lot easier. All of the chairmen and all the people on all of the committees, they do such a tremendous amount of work, and I rely on them so much, and they've helped me so much. And the board of directors has really stepped up to help me. I've done the things I've done right. Mostly are things that I've made sure that I got the help of my directors. And they've really stepped up and done a lot of work for you folks out in the community and kind of keeping me in line. So I just want to thank all of those people for helping me through this year.
Some people keep looking over there because there's noise going on. By law, our talliers must be in the public where we can see them working. They cannot be in a back room. They cannot be in a closed room. They have to be in full view of all of you so that you know that everything is proper. That's why they're making noise. They have to.
Hi, I'm Carol Moulton, number 440. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for all their hard work and dedication. A lot of hours went into making this a beautiful complex, and thank you. Also, I'd like to say happy birthday to John.
Thank you.
And I also have a question for the board. Would the FVRA board ever consider having one of its members whose primary charge would be Director of Communications? This person would be responsible for the communication of information that was previously on channel 801 and 802 to all of us. Example, what papers do we need to have on file And how should the names be written so that when we die, we can transfer our property to our children? Another example, if we get a hurricane notice, where do we go? These are questions that have been asked a lot of times to me. What places are clean and safe to stay? They don't know. When a person dies in our park, now that we don't have 801 or 802, who do we know it is? We don't. This person that is a director would be in charge to make sure that all of these questions have been addressed and even more questions. Thank you.
Carol, let me answer that by saying, to start with, our manager and assistant manager are doing a lot of that right now. But I think the important thing about, if we made somebody, one of the directors, somebody who's not an officer, we could take that on, make them, as you say, the communications expert, so that the shareholders would have one person to go to. I would like to see us look at that in the near future here. Right now, we are utilizing, most people, a lot of people have signed up for the manager's email list. If you haven't yet, get into the office and get signed up, because that's going to be the big thing, is the email blast from the manager. And get used to looking on your website, because all that stuff will be on the website. But I like your idea, and I hope they'll give it some consideration.
Also, Carol, every year people are given an emergency packet, and we give it to every new shareholder, and it says exactly where they can go if they need to go to a shelter, which is the worst place to go, because you're going to get a piece about as big as this table to lay on a gym floor. So, but our weathermen are so good about predicting hurricanes. They start on the western coast of Africa, and if you watch our weather in the summer, they predict them all for weeks as they track them across the Atlantic, and then they tell us, oh, they're going up to Bermuda, or they're going up to Newfoundland, whatever. But if they don't know where to stay, there's you have to make your own we can't recommend that. You go to a hotel or motel in a non hurricane evacuation area. That's up to you. You just go. You make a reservation in Orlando or Lakeland. The police department, you can sign up, and the fire department will take you to a shelter, which also would not be good. They need to make other arrangements for themselves. The board can't do that for them.
Fern Claudia, 602. I want to answer Carol's question. Last storm we had a couple of years ago, I called the office to find out where to go. She told me go in the closet.
Did you go?
No. Anyway, I'm not here for that. I'm here to announce that this coming Saturday, we're having our first breakfast in our new hall. And for all of those new people in the park that don't know what our new breakfast is, we offer eggs, pancakes, sausage, juice, coffee, and all of that, and as much as you want. So if you don't have your tickets, Harry Moulton's got a lot of them. He sells them all the time. And if you're hard up, really ask me. I might be able to find one or two. So I want to thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Fern. And I can tell you all from experience, anybody who's not been to one of these big breakfasts, once you go, you'll say, what a deal. It's really pretty amazing.
Nancy Whitford, lot 72. I have a huge announcement. If you can come here on March 30th at 7 p.m., we are having an emergency preparedness seminar called Be Prepared. all of your questions will be answered that night. Where to go, who to see. You're going to pick up your hurricane guides. There's going to be representatives from the city of Largo, Pinellas County. There's going to be an awesome video. And the 18 volunteers on the committee are going to be here, and you'll get to meet them, which is your emergency response team for Fairway Village. It will be in your flyer when you receive your March flyer, but it is March 30th at 7 p.m. And the second thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to ask if the long-range committee members could stand up so that we can thank them for their hard work on planning, preparing, financing, working all the details out to be able to make this clubhouse possible. Anybody here? Long range? Are you kidding me?
Nancy, you might be looking for the clubhouse committee.
Well, I thought long range planned things for the future for our park.
They did that back in 2013, and
Did they all die?
No, and got it going. But they just didn't attend this meeting.
Hi, my name is Corey Van Houten, and I live in lot 334. And just in case you haven't seen on Facebook or in the social flyer, tomorrow, right here at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be giving a talk about breathing for better living. So how you breathe can make a huge difference in your health, can lower your blood pressure, reduce your pain, increase your immunity, and lots of other things. So I'm going to be talking about it, and we're going to be practicing it. It's only going to be about an hour. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to learn a lot. So I hope to see you there.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh-oh. I mean, go ahead, sir.
I was going to suggest I sing to you. I resent that. Joe Jacoby, number 335. I have a question about dogs. Is there a limit to how many dogs one house can have?
No,
What
there
is the
isn't.
limit?
No, there isn't. And as long as a doctor says that those are absolutely necessary. I know we've had several in the park that had 2, and now we have one with 3, and we've researched it, and there's our hands are tied. As long as the doctor says they're all necessary, I can tell you, and I won't tell you, because this is all personal stuff for other people.
Well,
but
I think it's a little ridiculous. I mean, I need an emotional support, but I don't. I know you'll all agree. I really don't think I would need 3 dogs. But anyway.
Somebody's got extra.
I think most of the board members even agree with you on that. It's just our hands are tied.
we've talked about it a lot, and they're just, our lawyers just say it's the law. You just can't get around it. It's unfortunate.
You need to go ahead and, if you're a Florida resident, you need to contact your congressman and senator and tell them, because they're the only ones that can change it. They voted it in. We had to follow their rules.
Yes, and you feel free to talk among yourself, and at any time you feel the urge, just step up to the microphone. We've probably got another 20 minutes or so before the balloting is complete.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Charlie Weaver, number 105. Just a reminder that the annual New England Strawberry Cabaret is going to be held on Saturday night, March the 5th this year. Tickets will be going on sale February the 17th at 3 o'clock right here in the hall. They're $10 each. It will all be assigned seating by table. And we hope to see you showing up and having a good time with us. The entertainment for the evening is going to be Cliff Ritchie, who is a singer, an entertainer, a comedian, and I think you'll all enjoy him. We've seen him, and we feel he's a good choice. Paul, do you have anything else you want to? This is my right-hand man, Paul, down here.
We're going to use the big screens. Screens for New England. Some folks have personal information, so you can make sure, not necessarily your hot-tub screens, but your hot-tub. You have scenes that some of our folks in New England are going to provide, so you can see what New England looks like. Perhaps a quiz. How many states are in New England? If you're not in the office. But it'll be a good night. Chris Ritchie, our documentary. So we have some music, some photos, some images, some great stories, something that I can guarantee the good team on the showcase will go on at the last moment. Still proud of you, kids, still happy. It's definitely there.
As long as we're in a mood to plug or advertise, I'm Lydia Sweezy, lot 451. The first early bird dinner is scheduled for February 12th. 17th, sorry. Mine's a sieve today, it's the rain. It's lasagna, salad, bread, and dessert and beverage, all for the low, low price of $7. Tickets will be on sale Thursday evening from 5 to 6. And if you are uncomfortable having your meal in a large setting like this, then you are more than welcome to get them to go. Just please tell whoever is selling the tickets on that evening. Thank you.
Birthday, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you very much, thank you.
We have to let you in on an inside joke. Steve V and I were talking the other day about how Mr. Rogers needs to dress in a proper manner. And Steve pulled it out himself and put his own shirt on today.
My name's Dan Post. I'm in lot 353. And I don't want to wage a complaint. I just rather a concern. And I want to gain a little information if I can. I'm still fairly new to the park. I've been here a little over a year. So I don't want to become someone with a reputation of complaining. Not right off the bat, anyway. Anyway, I was wondering if there is any activity that you can tell us about related to traffic inside the village. Meaning, I'm going to break it down into two different categories. One is cars and delivery trucks and UPS, FedEx, lawn mowing company, all these different trucks that go through very, very fast. And anyway, I'm very worried about people. There are some people that, like myself, that walk across the street, walk along the side of the street, things like that. And anyway, that's number one. And number two is related to people parking on the side of the street. There are numerous people that are parking on curves where you can't see if there's traffic coming from the other direction. It blocks your view and is very dangerous for drivers. And there was a lady that was on a bicycle, and I had to stop the car and ask her to move off the street because both sides of the street were covered with cars and pickup trucks and right on the curve. And I was really afraid she was going to get hit. And anyway, there are also some people that are parking RVs on the weekends in the streets. And I don't know what's allowed and, what the details of that are. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. And if there are things going on, it would be good to know about it. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We are currently having a wrap, and we'll get started on it soon. More speed bumps. We'll put in a couple a year until we make some difference. Well, that's the only way to slow down FedEx, UPS, and those people. And certainly, some people say no, but the people who are on those high traffic, high speed streets have told me they want them there. So we'll be deciding who wants them and who doesn't. But that'll be coming up. And as far as the parking and everything, somebody made a good suggestion. We don't want to make a rule, but somebody had said that it would be good that when you go to park your car and you see a couple cars on this side of the street, even though you would normally park on the other side, let's all park on the same side. Then just as a courtesy, because then emergency vehicles will be able to get through easier. And another thing as far as safety, the people walking, if you walk in the road, and especially you come around the curve walking and there's a car parked here and you come in the other side, that's very dangerous. The walker should make sure that they don't hide themselves back around a curve and just come walking out and there's going to be cars there. I think we all need to just try and be as careful as possible. Dan brings up some good points, and all we can do is ask people to be more careful. And believe me, we've talked to the different delivery people, and they say, yeah, we'll tell our drivers, but you can see how that's working.
I know one year we talked to the UPS and FedEx, and they all said, well, we could stop driving on your streets. We could drop all the packages off in the office, and everyone would have to come and get them. And of course, the office doesn't want that, nor do we want to go up and get them.
Barb Magley, lot 57. I really don't understand why people have a problem with speed bumps. They're very effective. If you don't go barreling over them, it's not going to do any damage to the front end of your car. If you have a back problem, and I do, what I do is totally stop and roll over it. And it doesn't take that much more time than it does to just speed through there. If someone could explain to me why it's a problem, I'd be interested in knowing that.
Thank you, Barbara. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, Mel Oscott, lot 220. I'm totally against speed bumps, and I'm going to tell you why. Regardless of how hard you hit them, every time you hit them, it's causing damage to your front end. Every time. And the ones that you have over on this street over here that we've got this rogue bump over on this side for some reason. That one, I don't even go down that road because that one will ruin, one, your golf cart or your car. Number two, the golf cart launcher you have on Fairway Village there, that does nothing for the cars. It doesn't slow the trucks down. All it does is cause problems with your golf cart. That's my thought of speed bumps. We need to be a little more diligent in regards to speed. Everybody in here, and call them people out that you see going fast, like the UPS driver or that. Take down their cart, their vehicle number, and we'll have to get some people then discussing it with UPS or whoever. That's my thoughts. Thank you. Oh, one other thought. We have a lot of people parking right at the stop signs on some of the streets. That to me is more of a problem than anything else anybody else has been talking about, because that blocks the people from crossing the street. It also makes a person be in the center of the road. If somebody's turning left or right onto that particular road, it causes problems, and that's the only problem I see in regards to traffic in this neighborhood. Thank you.
Point well taken. And again, feel free to talk amongst yourself. When somebody steps up to the microphone, let's be courteous and let them talk. All right.
How much time do I have? Because it's going to take more than 3 minutes. Okay, Mark McConkey, lot unit 658. I've got some stuff here that I want to pass out to the board.
And be quick about it. We do have a time limit.
I try not to get involved in too much. I've been involved in too much in my life. And I try not to be a shit disturber in the park, but I'm going to be a shit disturber this time. A few weeks back, I saw an email come out that I see most of them come out, and I let them go. But I saw this email come out, and like I said, it doesn't really affect me directly, but I didn't like the tone of it, and it raised some questions in my own mind. First off, that came from the Fairway Assistant Manager, 28th of January. Some of you might have seen it, some might not have. It said, "Good morning, everyone. Effective immediately, you will need to make an appointment at least 36 hours in advance to have documents notarized by the employees who are notary office, the public in the office. The fee is $10, notary stamp payable, and cash only." I think you've all got that copy there. So it started raising some questions in my mind. Basically, who's the boss, who's the employee? I really would like some clarification as to this recently sent email from the Fairway Village office. I noticed that the email was basically signed by the Assistant General Manager. And I'm asking this question to the board in general. Was the architect of this email the office staff? And if so, was it an arbitrary decision on their part? Did the board have knowledge or input into it? Anybody?
We've always charged for, are you complaining about the charge for a notary stamp? We've always charged for a notary stamp. I don't know what you're concerned about, the time that it takes or the money or what?
Well, first off, it was the tone that came out that you will need, like they're being the boss. They aren't the boss. We're the boss. You're the boss. Everybody in this room is the boss. They're employees, and they're telling us what we have to do. Okay, so you not understand where I'm going with this? Like, we've got employees. The people in that office. They're our employees, right? We pay their salaries. Now, the tone of this email was they're telling us what we have to do. The employees telling basically the boss, the people that pay their salaries, what we have to do. To start with that 36-hour, give them the minimum 36-hour notice. And okay, so I'll carry on from there. What is the reasoning for the 36 hours, minimum 36 hours notice? Anybody know?
Unfortunately, right now, our assistant manager is very busy tallying these things, and oh, he's coming forward now. Hang on.
He was obviously listening with one ear. Well, maybe not.
So
Did the board,
Testing, one, two,
one of the
three.
questions?
Hold on, he's ready.
So there's a couple reasons we did that. One was a workload management. Several of the documents that need to be notarized, the notary has to understand it. So it's not just a 2-second deal. Sometimes they're 20, 30 minutes to go through the documents with the resident to sign. It just became a workload management issue just to give us the time so the notaries in the office, primarily Mary, can schedule that for the break. Because right now with all the workload coming in, with closings, et cetera, it just became too disruptive to have husband, wife, daughter come in. They want these things notarized because they're catching a flight in 2 hours and they forgot it. So it just makes it easier for us to manage the workload and control what's coming through the office.
How many people in a year would come in and have stuff notarized?
I have no idea.
100?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna guess very limited, very limited. The staff are sitting in the office. They're getting paid by us to do a job, to assist the membership. And now we're being dictated to. We got to give that minimum 36 hours notice. They're already sitting there doing their job. And any notary that I've been to in the past, years gone by, you walk up, you sign it. Sometimes you swear in the Bible, sometimes you don't. It's stamps put on it. Bob's your uncle, and it's over with. I don't know what this detail, but they have to read all the papers. I just don't know that.
All I can tell you is in the last 6 weeks, it's become a problem for managing the workflow. And so temporarily, we're asking for a 36-hour appointment. If you can't make that, as some of you all couldn't, you call the office, and Mary's like, you know what? Let me adjust my schedule. I can see you in an hour, and we get you in. Okay? It's happened a couple of times, but the point was we did that to help control workflow.
Well, literally, the laughter I got out of here, I'm getting the impression people disagree with you. Yeah.
I've offered since I started here, come sit in the office for half a day and see what we do.
All right, and let's not beat this to death. We get your point, and I said we had a time limit because nobody seems ready. We'll continue, but let's speed it along now, okay?
Well, if somebody comes up behind me, I'll give way. Okay? Is that fair enough? What is the reasoning behind the $10 fee? And where does the $10 go? They're just questions. I mean, I don't know the answers. If somebody can give me a reasonable answer to it, I can accept it. Pardon? Anyways, I've raised the question. Well, I've got a lot of questions here, but some of them aren't really pertinent, I guess. How many notaries do we have in the office? Does the board know?
I know we have at least 2, but I don't know.
Like, I'm getting back to the office staff as I know it are our paid employees. Paid in the whole out of the ever-increasing monthly maintenance fees submitted by every unit in this park. That would be correct, I would think. Yes?
Yes, our maintenance fees pay for our office personnel.
They receive a salary, have benefit package, regular day shift hours, weekends, and holidays off. And I believe they deserve it. I'm not what they make, they don't make. I'm a firm believer that these employees, and they are employees of us all, should be there to assist us, all the shareholders, when the shareholder needs assistance, including walking up the door, knocking on the door, or walking in and asking to have something notarized. We are the bosses, taking into account the elected board of directors, elected by the shareholders. All 751 of us in the park, they work for us. They should not be telling us the way how we do things, or, well, correction, I get how they should not be telling us the way or how things are going to be run in the park. We tell them. They don't make the rules. We make the rules. I've talked to several people on this issue. I mean, in the big picture, it's a minor issue, but it's one that's got my goat because I don't like the employee telling me what I have to do. The overall attitude and impression from many that I've talked to is that they in the office are the boss, and we have to take direction from them, which in my humble opinion is the complete opposite. They should be taking direction from us. And that email is one prime example. I'll yield the floor.
I just have one. I just have one comment to your notification, that type of thing. They are employed by Fairway Village. You hire a board or you vote for a board to look after making sure the employees do their thing. If you have a concern, call us. We will deal with it at the employee level through their manager. But to say they work for you, that is not the situation. They are under the management of this park. The management report to the board of directors who you put in charge to make those decisions.
And who does the board of directors report to? Us.
I think it's important to know too that a lot of the issues when the people in the office tell you they can't do this or they can't do that, they're going by their rules. There's certain rules that we have of running the office of how things should be done, and generally speaking, they're just quoting you their rules as to how to serve you. They're certainly customer service reps for you, and I can only say when you have a problem with any of our personnel, don't go to them, come to the board. Just let us know and we'll address it.
Pamela Watkins, Unit 151. I hear often, come to the board. So here we are coming to the board, and a lot of times we don't get an answer. It would be really nice if we had one person or a standard email that was monitored by each of you or whatever. I don't think that we should have to email or call every member of the board. It would be really nice to have an appointed communication person to talk to. One thought of mine is that each section of the park, there's 8 sections, would be able to have a representative. And if that person is not happy with the person that's representing them, then the 9th person would be the person that they could go to. I don't feel that the office staff, I don't know if they are overworked. I am in administration myself, and mostly it's disorganization that would cause you to be overworked. Sometimes it is an overabundance of work, but on the most part, it is disorganization. The other thing is many people have told me that they are intimidated in going into the office. They are spoken to rudely, and the tone of the email that he was just talking about is in general rude. There's no, hi, how are you doing? How can I help you? It's, what are you doing here? And I just wanted to make those comments, and I don't feel that people are treated with respect when they're walking into that office, judging by the feedback that I've gotten. Thank you.
All I can say to that, stay tuned, because things are coming your way.
Dennis Walczewski, 264. I have a question regarding the dumpster that's sitting out here. It's certainly overfilled. We're getting, penalized for stuff being put in there, and ultimately it'll affect us at the end of the year by extra costs. What's the plan? Are you going to move it? Or is it going to be put away? You're ruining the asphalt also. And there's been numerous trucks, and time the city comes in to pull it out, can't get at it. You have a cone out there, and it gives a poor, appearance of this facility which you just put up, and it doesn't give a good impression on anybody. So what's the plans? Thank you.
Dennis, for start with, and Steve Ford, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe what we're going to end up with is the shorter of the dumpsters enclosed down here at the end of the clubhouse in that area, and then the bigger of the dumpsters up where it used to be, up into that far corner. And we're discussing. I'm not saying this is going to happen. We're discussing putting a fence around it to help with the beauty of it, and possibly even, and this is possible, that we may be able to lock it down for certain periods to make sure that people aren't coming in from outside the park. These are things we're talking about, so we're working on it, and we hope to come to something soon. I can't tell you that. I think that at least Dave Raymer is on board with this, and all the decisions of the board are difficult because we have to make sure that we're doing what the people out there want. So we're working on it. We're gonna get to it as soon as we can. Sometimes you say as soon as possible, and you mean we're working on it.
Guys, my name's Sonny Russell, 779. I asked this question a month ago, and John, you told me we were talking about it. We're going to get something done early January. Now we're mid-February, almost, and we're still talking about it. As the man stated, the asphalt's horrible. Have you guys been out there and saw that? Has maintenance reported on that? We know we overfill it, so that's a problem. What happens to the stuff when it's overfilled? Does it end up in Half Moon Lake? Where's it going? We got a $5 million clubhouse. You drive in and the place looks like crap. So how long does it take? That's a legitimate question, not to be stirring the pot, but a month is long enough. And every time you delay, the asphalt is in worse and worse condition.
I agree. I had made the suggestion that we move it back to where it used to be and put some fencing around it, but we've had some pushback from the directors, and all I can say is the new directors are going to have to tell you what the time frame is for it. But
So please enlighten the shareholders. What is the pushback? Maybe there is some legitimate reasons we don't understand.
Sonny, let me answer that for you. I put a list together of 4 places where we could put the dumpster. Where it was originally, where it's sitting now, down at the end of the golf course, or at the end of East Rough Road where you and I live. All 4 locations, I was told, it was impossible to put them in those locations because it was material alteration of that land. My point is, every week we're paying $150 for overloads, televisions, everything else. The best thing this committee could do is say, make a choice, tell us where, or we move them out of here totally. That's the only choice I can say.
Yeah, that's fine, but what action has been done the last month, other than Dave's proposal, which I don't understand why it got shot down, why we couldn't put it back where it used to be with the white vinyl fence around it. At least it was hidden, guys. I mean, when you come in here, the place is beautiful. You see a freaking dumpster overloaded. Nothing's been done as far as we can see.
Well, the big point is we haven't been able to move the one from where it's located because the clubhouse is not ready to receive it yet. As soon as WOW moved their utilities off toll pole so that we can move the in without the driver taking out wow, we'll do that. That'll get the first one out of the way. The second one, I think the people have to make a decision as to where we put it, because these 9 people can't come up with an answer without having somebody unhappy everywhere.
That sounds great, Dave. So we're going to have a
Okay.
special meeting or something for that so we can come to a consensus.
I'll guarantee it comes up in the next 30 days.
Yeah, I got that the last one. But,
No,
but
well,
I'm going to
you're
hope,
getting this one.
I'm going to.
You live next door to me, you can come knocking.
All right,
Okay.
sir. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone. To us, this is especially to me, it's a huge issue. So, and as I say, where is the debris going that blows out of the dumpster? In the lake? I don't know.
John, may I make a comment?
Go ahead, Steve.
You know, Dave mentioned 4 locations that we thought of, and there is disagreement among directors. I admit that, for different reasons. The one option that has not been brought to your attention, and I'll ask the question, let's get rid of the dumpster.
Right.
That solves a lot of problems. It creates a few problems on we still have to, well, it eliminates the overloading, it eliminates the improper stuff going in there. It still creates a problem for the residents to get rid of things when they need to. But is that a big issue? I'm asking a question. I mean, we might as well talk about it now. City of Largo told us we have dumpsters and trash containers. I don't know that they would. I think we talked about we could call the city. There was an option to call the city on once or twice a year 3 times per individual to come out and pick up stuff.
That was at one time. The one thing that a lot of people don't see is back when the city said they were going to take over, our manager at that time negotiated with them getting free pickups for the dumpsters rather than the normal charge. And what we gave up for that was that people used to have 4 times a year that you could call and they would come and pick up couches, whatever. But we negotiated that away back when the city first said they were going to take over. And I've talked to them a couple times since, a couple different managers, and they are not willing to change that negotiation. They said, you negotiated, that's what it's going to be. The city's not easy to deal with, no doubt.
I understand that if they did do that service, it was with a claw machine that had to be 25 feet from where they were picking up and putting in their dumpster, which said that our streets weren't wide enough for them to use that. They wouldn't send manpower, they'd only send one guy that would jump off and use the claw machine to pick up the couches and that type of thing. That's not even acceptable either. So it's sort of I don't know how you're going to answer that. I think we're all going to have to just say, we'll do this and bite the bullet and be happy with it, because until we come up with one solution, everybody's going to have a say on it. And that's what's happened over the last 6 months of this. Everybody's had a say on it.
Would we get a reduction in the costs if we didn't have the dumpsters?
No.
No?
I'd have to check into that, but at $118,000 a year for what they're doing now, I doubt whether they'll give us anything.
Okay, if they were to, then possibly we could hire our own 1-800-GO JUNK or whatever it's called on our own and have it 4 times a year where people can use that instead. Just a thought.
I think that's something we have checked on also, but I don't know what the answer to it is.
Question to my fellow board members. When the city took over, were we given the number of times a week that they would come and pick up our dumpster?
1 free pickup per dumpster per week. And as you all know, we have to, we call additional times to get them taken out on those extra times, and then you pay for those. But one free pickup per dumpster per week.
Shirley Swain, Lot 14. If some of you noticed in your newsletter, there was a list of places to donate because a lot of this stuff is not junk. It's just older, used things that's still good. There's a lot of disadvantaged people in this area. And if you would please consider donating as opposed to just trashing things. If it's still usable, good things. We made a list, Daryl and I made a list, and it's been in the newsletter of all the local places. One of them is the Ambets, which is around the corner by the barber shop. It can't get any closer. Some of the charities will come if you have a lot, like furniture, they will come and pick them up. And all the information is in the newsletters, and do not put electronics in that dumpster. Some of it's hazardous. That's why it's on the list where you take it and where you dispose of it properly, because we don't want anything that's hazardous, in areas that it shouldn't be. And that includes just the normal trash.
You Shirley? Hey, things are picking up.
Hi, Georgia Nicholson, 601. I was wondering if we can entertain putting a camera on the dumpster, and whoever's caught putting stuff that don't belong there pays that extra fee. Well, hello.
Oh, you're right. We've discussed it. We haven't made a decision yet, but I've been in favor of motion detector cameras, because what we have out here for cameras now, if something happens over the weekend, you've got to get somebody who will sit down and watch 48 hours of video. But if we get a motion detector camera, that should just pick up when people are in the area and should help that. That's one of the things we're discussing.
Right. Also, one of the problems we have with the dumpster is that people take big boxes and just throw them in there. Cut them up, slice them up, do what you got to do, flatten them out, and we get more room for everybody else. Or in the recycle bin.
And just one point about those dumpsters, the city isn't fining us $150 for those illegal things. When the city takes them to the dump, then the dump charges the city, and the city back charges us. So at any rate, it's $150 per violation.
Can you get up to the mic and say that? I'm sorry. People can't hear in the back. No problem.
Okay, Don Nicholson, 601. Dave and myself have done this many times. We've taken paint down there. It's the end of Bryan Dairy Road. It's a power plant. They've got a big sign. You can't miss it. We've taken paint. We've taken TVs, VCRs. You just pull in. You get out of the car. They come right to the back of the car. They put it on a cart and take it away. No problem at all. No charge. It's good.
And the last time we did it, we took about 10 VCRs, and they looked at us and said, "You have a green bin? Throw it in."
Okay, we've got some time. If there's any golfers out there, I wanted to tell you the story about the guy with the toothache problem. Guy shows up at the dentist when the dentist first opens up and he says, Doc, you've got to help me. The problem is this absolutely terrible toothache, but I'm telling you what, I've got a best tea time you could ever get here in a little while. I can't miss it. So the pain is secondary. The speed of this is the important thing. Guys, I know it's free and we're going to have lunch. I got to get there. So speed is of the essence. And the dentist said, well, is a lot of pain? I said, oh, you're a lot of pain. It's like an exposed nerve. Then I said, well, I'm trying to fit you in here in a little while. And he said, no, you can't do that. I got to make this tea time. It's just awesome. Dennis says, well, okay, get in the chair and we'll put the Novocaine in you and see if we can get started. The guy says, no, that takes too long. I'll miss my tea time. I don't care about the pain. I just want it done now. And I says, well, okay, which tooth is it? And the guy looks back and says, honey, would you tell us what tooth that is? Well, it wasted some time. Come on. No, we're not going to get to after the election results. Yeah. 400. Well, um,
Hi, John.
Can we have your attention while Mr. Haig?
Gary
speaks up?
Haig, 789. Couple questions. First, if you get rid of the dumpsters, the people that take care of your properties during the summer when you're gone, where are we supposed to pull all the weeds and the trimmings? I don't understand that. We put them on the curb and then maintenance is going to pick them up for us? And where are they going to put them? We don't have any dumpsters. Second of all, when you move this dumpster out here to the back of the clubhouse, what's going in there? Is it garbage?
No, definitely not garbage. Garbage. They have several large green containers.
Correct.
All of that will go into
So-
there, and if we need to borrow the maintenance green containers, any garbage is going to have to be.
So you're saying that anybody that works in the kitchen is not going to throw any garbage in that dumpster, correct?
It's certainly the rule.
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the rule.
Yeah, right. That's the rule. Everybody follows the rules here, don't they?
I've heard your theory about the rules before, so let's not go there.
I got a couple other things. I got a list like he's got. Emotional support animals. Will somebody in the office, Anthony, please send out an email and telling the people that have emotional support animals that you can't let people in the non-pet section, or you just can't take your emotional support animal and leave it at somebody's house. Correct? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Maybe that.
You can't leave it at somebody's house who's in the non-pet section.
Correct. And maybe that should be a reminder to everybody that has them, because it's happening all the time. I see it daily past my house in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, the emotional support animal is only allowed outside of the pet section when it's with the person that has the
Correct.
accommodation.
Thank you. Maybe everybody in the park should know that.
We've discussed it before, I think, at this meeting, but.
They need a reminder, I guess. Maybe that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, and we need it reported to us.
When is what?
We need it reported to us while it's happening.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I understand that. When's the golf shack gonna open back up here? Anybody know?
We need a phone in there.
What?
We were supposed to have the phones installed this Friday. That's been delayed.
And then was there a material alterations plan when we put the shack up down at the golf course the other end?
No, because it's temporary, and that's what your one exception is, as long as it's temporary emergency
So
situation.
can't the dumpster be put down there temporarily with a fence around it?
Temporarily for how long?
I don't know. Thank you.
Bob Dunn, 103. On a good note, I want to remind everybody that next Friday, the 18th, is the Music. And that's a nice program put on by our shareholders, Bob Moore and his group. They're going to be on stage doing some music and some singing and maybe some dancing. And then the following day is karaoke. It'll be our first karaoke in the hall. And that's a lot of fun to come out and watch our shareholders get up there and sing some tunes. So come on out next Friday and next Saturday. Oh, and don't forget about the Super Bowl party on Sunday. Super Bowl party here on Sunday. We've got the 3 big screens. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Carol Moulton again, 440. I'm known as the Shed Lady, and we don't have the shed anymore, but we have a beautiful storage room over here. So if you're doing decorations for Howie, or if you have a district party, or if you're doing the 50th wedding anniversary and you need decorations, Lydia and I are working in there, so please contact us. We'll be glad to give you just about anything that we have in there. So just call us, okay? Thanks.
Thank you, Carol. Go ahead.
Marge Fields, 168. I heard that Steve went out to play golf at Rodriguez. He came in, he said, y'all had par. So I said, really? A couple days later, we went back out and played again. Come back in, he says, I made par. The pro thought, I'm going to go out with him. So he goes out with him, and his ball goes left, and it's going right, and it's just everywhere. Gets on the 13th hole and hit the green, right up there. Goes and picks up his ball. He, whoa. Why did you pick that ball up? He says, that's par.
For all of you golfers out there, I want to warn you about Steve Vandesand. Don't bet with Steve. Friend of ours on the dais here got up to number 3, and Steve says, had trouble getting through those trees, had trouble. He says, I'll bet you 2-1 that I get through the trees this time. And Darrell says, okay. And Steve didn't get through the trees. And so Steve looks at Darrell and says, you owe me $1. And Darrell says, you said it was 2-1. And Steve says, yeah, if I get through the trees, you owe me $1. If I don't, you owe me 2. So be careful with that with Steve. And that's true.
Derek,
The check's in the mail.
Dennis just called me. They'll be about 10 minutes. Thank you for your patience.
It's your fault. That's it. I watched. I didn't run out of the dirt and yell at him. There are so many clubs in my area. You're welcome to 6
Well, if you drop down your chip on the tree, right, you put that put your putter back in and start walking.
I was hiking in the woods. I lost my phone in the woods. It was on silent mode. Park ranger. We went down to park ranger. He walked with me in the woods. I said, here. It was going from this point to that point. Somewhere between this point and that point. He took off and went around to the right and he got 10 minutes later. No. Yeah. I had to watch him play off this front face. It's not like he's guy over here is searching for an hour over this area.
And you get frustrated.
So I got the tether.
I'm sure you're going to do it like that. The dog's probably eating it. No, I am. She'll know if I have it. The whole house before I have a problem.
Okay, can we have your attention? Attention, we're going to announce the winners. Okay, here are the three top vote getters, the three directors who will be coming up to the dais. And in no particular order, the three who have the most ballots are Paul Franco, June Killam, and Norma Miller. And we'd like the three of you to come up to the dais now and take your seats up here. Norma's not here? Okay, just Paul then. I'm leaving.
Congratulations. Would you take that chair over there, please? No, Norma's out of town. Is that it? Is Norma out of town? Is Norma out of town? Okay. She's on the phone with a friend who's in the audience. Oh, no, Norma's out of town, but she's on a phone with somebody? Somebody have the phone with her? Okay, all right. Norma will, of course, be at the next meeting. I'm going to adjourn the shareholders meeting, but if you'd like to stay, we are going to have a board of directors meeting, which is an organizational meeting where we will elect the officers for next year. So I'm adjourning the shareholders meeting right now, and I'm going to call to order our board of directors meeting. I'm going to ask our assistant manager, Dennis Reinhold, to be chairman of this meeting. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I do need, in order to adjourn, I need a motion to adjourn. Is there someone? Thank you. Did you see the name? One more. They're all waving their hands back there. And a second? Bob Dunn. Bob Moore, Bob Dunn. All in favor of adjourning this shareholders meeting, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. I'm going to now call the Board of Directors meeting, and if you don't want to listen to this, would you leave the room quietly, please? We have business to do. I'm going to assign Dennis Reinhold as chairman of this meeting. Mr. Reinhold.
Thank you, Vice President Marsh. The first order of business for the board is to elect their officers. You can observe, but please keep the noise to a minimum. You know what? We're gonna give it 30 seconds.
I just started this meeting.
I don't know.
Started this meeting, and Dennis has been appointed as chairman.
Okay. The first order of business is to elect the officers. That's okay. It's for the board. Do we have a nomination for president?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I nominate David.
Keep going.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate David Raymer as president.
Do we have a second?
Second that nomination.
Dave Raymer has been nominated for president. Are there any other nominations for president? Okay. All directors in favor, we're going to do a roll call vote, please. Mr. Swain?
Yes.
Ms. Boise?
Yes.
Ms. Killam?
Yes.
Ms. Marsh? Mr. Raymer?
They can't vote for themselves.
That was a setup. Mr. Franco? Mr. Ford? Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
It's unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Raymer. Do we have a nomination for vice president of the board?
Yes. I nominate Director Marsh, Rox Marsh, to be vice president.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Are there any other nominations for vice president of the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Swain?
Yes.
Ms. Killam?
Yes.
Ms. Boise?
Yes.
Mr. Raymer? Mr. Ford? Mr. Franco? Mr. Weaver? It's unanimous. Congratulations, Director Marsh, as Vice President of the Board. Do we have a nomination for Secretary of the Board?
I would like to nominate Jean Killam as secretary.
Is there a second? We need a second to move forward. Thank you. Are there any other nominations for Secretary of the Board? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Swain?
Yes.
Ms. Foisey?
Yes.
Ms. Marsh?
Yes.
Mr. Raymer? Mr. Franco?
Yes.
Mr. Ford?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Unanimous. Congratulations, June. You're Secretary of the Board for the next year. Do we have a nomination for Treasurer of the Board? Hearing none, we'll have to fill that office at a later date. Thank you. We will now take the oath of office for the directors. Will the directors please stand? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly promise to exercise my fiduciary responsibility as a director of the Fairway Village Residents Association Incorporated in accordance with good business practices and to act at all times with honesty, decency, and personal integrity. Thank you. Welcome to the board. The last order of business, Mr. President, do you have a motion for check signers? Mr. Dave Raymer. While she's doing that, these directors will be the ones who will be signing all disbursement checks out of reserves and operations. Our current practice requires 2 signatures on every check. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Raymer.
Mr. Chairman, I move to have the Board of Directors approve the following directors as authorized check signers effective February 9th, 2022. Myself, David Raymer, President, Roxy Marsh, Vice President. I'm going to ask June Killam. I know she said no, but I'm going to ask her if she would be a signing authority, and Steve Ford would be the 4th signing authority.
Roxy, second. Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote, please. Mr. Swain?
Yes.
Ms. Boise? Yes. Ms. Killam? Ms. Marsh? Mr. Raymer?
Yes.
Mr. Franco? Mr. Ford? Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations. Are there any other business the board needs to conduct this evening? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn, please? Do I have a second? Motion is adjourned. Meeting is adjourned. It's been a long day. Drive safe. Have a good evening. Thank you for your participation.